Is Stephen Baggett asking for a move to like the tight ends room or wide receivers?
Very disappointed in Steven not taking that thing to the house. That was pretty fun. I was a little worried. I mean, obviously we wanted the play to be executed a lot better than that, but that was great hands. I don't know if you guys saw the catch. It was nice, and then he just naturally water bugged it, which a real athlete like myself would have taken it to the house.
Do you teach them that to go down right away, or would you have been okay if you tried to keep going? You could have got.
You know what? That's a great question. I don't know that we've ever. Typically, just if that happens, catching it down. It's not like it comes up a bunch, but we do work. The rest of the team on our typical Friday works pat and go, is what it's called. Kind of their 9 balls, saving the line, high hands, catching it. We work fat and slow on the O-line. That's our drill. Coach Potter throws to all the unathletic offensive linemen, and then I throw to all the athletic offensive linemen. Steven is in my line on Fridays, so you should know that he is pretty athletic and can catch.
Who has the best hands of your group?
Travis Averill. Yep, Travis is. But Ezra Cleveland's coming up the ranks. He's going to be my go-to receiver here coming up. So pretty excited about that. We're going to lose Travis, but I'm going to replace him with Ezra.
How do you feel like, obviously, your group, we're halfway through the year now. How do you feel like you guys have done so far this season?
Yeah, I've been proud of them. Losing Mason for those 2 games, I don't think anybody, we're obviously never going to make a big deal of that. But he was playing really good football, and to have to move all those guys, I was really proud of how they handled that. And then to get Mason back last week and kind of get things settled back down was nice. But I've been proud of them. I mean, there's obviously 1,000 things that we need to fix and correct. There's 1,000 things that they're doing really well, and hopefully a lot of the stuff goes unnoticed that they do really well because it kind of looks smooth and natural. But if you're an O-line guy, you're going, wow, that's really good. So they're doing a lot of good things. Hey, Paul, you're the legend right here, man. You can ask me anything.
What are their defensive strengths, and do they remind you of anybody they've played so far on defense?
It's very good defense. I think their front seven's as good as we've seen. I mean, not to take away anything from the guys on the back end, because those 2 safeties have been very good players for them. But their front seven's big, physical. They have a good, solid scheme. They move a bunch. They can bring a lot of different versions of zone pressure. They're good. To say who they remind me of that we've played this year, different scheme than Utah State, but the same kind of mentality, if you will. They're moving, they're physical, they're good on the line. Trying to think back to who we played. It's been a long year already. But no, they're good. To answer your question, they're good. They're good up front. They're really good. It's gonna be a great challenge.
When teams have moved the ball against them, particularly going back to the Toledo game where they went back and forth, what have they done effectively?
Little bit of everything. A lot of the offenses that they've played have different style than probably us with the running quarterback. But Toledo did a good job. That quarterback played a heck of a football game, and they had a good line, and they did a good job balancing the run and the pass, and they hit some shots in there, and kind of kept them off balance, I guess, if you will.
Do you know the GAs were the GAs maybe cutting up some stuff on Friday or Saturday during the day on BYU, or how did you guys attack this short week? And I'm curious, what time did you get here this morning, and how's that maybe?
Well, I can tell you what time I left last night.
What time was that?
That was about 7.5 hours ago. That's actually not right.
4:30.
That's bad math right there. No, not 4:30. 8 hours ago then. Just kidding. It was a long night. Yeah, Coach Harsin put together a great plan for us. We kind of had to touch on it a little bit last week early on as a staff, not with the players at all, just to kind of figure out what the plan was going to be. We've been in this situation before. The GAs are always working a week ahead in terms of breaking down film, so that didn't change a ton. And as coaches, I mean, after the good thing is that after today, once we get practice done today, we're kind of back on a normal week. Up until I guess it would be Wednesday night, we kind of flip into Friday mode. But it's the kids are excited about it. We're good. A little bit longer night, big deal.
How does it kind of break the monotony of what you guys normally do? I mean, I don't know if it's a fun challenge, but I mean, it is different.
Yeah.
It can different be fun,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, every week it's different with the defense you're playing. So I don't know if there's monotony in it. There is a rhythm to it for sure with your normal Monday, your normal Tuesday, just the week of prep. But yeah, it's fun. It's a challenge, and like I said, we've done this before, and it's been a while since we've been on this short of a week. But the guys are ready for it. The coach is ready for it. We should be hopefully good to go.
I mean, we joke around. Do you guys have a few extra cups of coffee or any like late night pizza? I mean, anything like that? Or?
No, I had a Spark this morning, and then I've been drinking coffee all day. But that's kind of normal for me.
So what time did you leave last night?
I did leave about 2:30.
Okay.
But that's because I'm a little bit slower sometimes doing things.
I mean, what is? I mean, you mentioned yesterday and today obviously being the two toughest days. What's the toughest part? What do you lose? What are you trying to condense? What do you have to do extra these 2 days?
Just making sure that you're covering all your bases, so you have a little bit more time, and watching a little bit extra film here and there, and making sure that you're putting the guys in the best situation possible. With BYU's under the same. They had I guess a little bit extra time because they played, but yeah.
So what time did you get back here today then?
We typically start at 7:30.
Did you turn off the lights last night?
What's that?
Did you turn off the lights, or is anyone else still there?
They're all automatic. It's all
Oh,
fancy. No movement. You guys will be sitting taking a nap here. Just all real quiet. Nobody move. It'll happen.
Obviously, Jeremy had such a big game, but late in that game, there was that 4th and short, and you guys weren't able to come up with that. Was that disappointing, surprising? Just kind of take us through that play.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, it was. Heck yeah, it was disappointing. We pride ourselves on being able to get that. I can credit Colorado State. I mean, they had outnumbered us on that side, but you'd like to think to get a yard or whatever we had to get there that we could get that done. So yeah, it was disappointing. With a couple plays before that, I think we had ran the same play, and I mean he was this close to breaking it. So it's yeah, we've addressed it. We need to finish there and not put our defense back out on the field.
Rhett seems to be open to the run. I mean, he seems to be open a lot. He's run a few times and had one pretty good run.
Yeah.
Are you considering running him more, or do you not want to take that chance?
No, I think when those opportunities present themselves, I mean, Brett is. I think he's more athletic than people give him credit for. If when those opportunities present themselves, he did a great job there making a play, and hopefully he'll continue doing that. But to say that we're ever going to be a spread running quarterback team with him, I think we all know that we wouldn't be playing to our
strengths. Is there a
strengths.
muzzle on him at all for doing that, or is it up to
No,
him?
he just needs to, like we've told all our quarterbacks forever. I mean, Coach Hartson, just be smart getting down. Don't take any unnecessary hits, and that really goes for all the guys that carry the ball. I mean, you got to be smart, figure out when that extra yard's worth it, when you're putting yourself in a bad situation.
Did you talk to McNichols at all about, as the game went along, about bouncing runs further out, or did he just kind of do that on his own?
No, Jeremy, most of the time, you don't really talk to him on the sideline. I like to ask him what he wants to hit, what he's kind of feeling. Most of the time, it's anything that he had a little bit of success on early, but it's just a good chance to talk to him. Now he does most of that stuff on his own. I think any great running back has good vision, and the last person they want to hear advice from is someone that played center, which I would have just told him to run behind me anyways, but that wouldn't have probably that might not have been so well.
Did you almost break that run?
Yeah, yeah, he was
Close.
close to hitting a couple of them. Yeah, yep.
Any concerns about him with all those touches and the short week physically?
No, I think he's healthy. He's tough. He's built for it. I mean we want to get him those carries, and I think anytime I think most running backs would say the more times they get the ball, they can get in a rhythm, they start seeing stuff. I mean, you're not going to have your success most of the time right off the unless the defense is just doing something unsound. I mean, you got to get in a rhythm. The O-line's got to get in a rhythm. How linebackers are playing it, how we're fitting our combos, and just all that stuff. I mean, it just takes a little bit of time. The run game takes a little bit longer.
How much different do you think this week will be with ripping under center where you had Finley last year? Will the offense run the same in this game with BYU?
Yeah, I mean, BYU is completely different. I mean, other than that, there's some, obviously some returning players. I mean, that's a completely different staff, a completely different defensive scheme. It's almost like playing a different team altogether.
With Rip, How good has he been at keeping the ball out of harm's way? I mean, it's over the last, I think it's been 4 or 5 games now where he's been pretty good at that.
He's knock on wood. I mean, that's one of the top quarterback requirements is decision making, and he's a pretty good decision maker back there, and hopefully he'll continue to prove that.
I know he's not a part of your position group, but Jazz Anderson blocking on the outside. I was wondering if you could expand on his.
Yeah, the receivers have done a good job doing that. We've asked, sometimes we ask more of them, and sometimes not as much. But Jazz has done a good job, and he's fun to be around. He's not scared to go in there and get that. In fact, Sean Monster on the long run that Jeremy had in the game, I believe it was Sean Monster that went in there and got the safety, and he did a good job. So the receivers, Coach Adams, done a great job setting the tone with those guys and making it important, and they help us out a lot in the run game.
You're talking to Jeremy and asking him what works and stuff. I think on the 80-yarder, he actually either called the play or asked for the play. Or something.
Yeah, he did. Well, because he knew he had hit it earlier, and he was really close to getting out.
How often how common is that for you, where you actually give the running back that type of responsibility or respect to be able to call ask for a play or call the actual play? I
think we do it a lot. You always want to know what the guys are feeling. I know I certainly do a lot with the offensive line. I mean, you can tell they're like, yeah, get this back. We're going to dominate this dude or whatever. That's important. You want them to have confidence. I mean, it gives you more confidence when you're calling the plays if the guys want to run it and they're the ones out there that have to execute it. So, yeah, I think always asking them their opinion. Now, with that being said, I mean, they're not gonna. It's not the inmates running the asylum by any means. So.
You're the only team with a minus in turnovers, undefeated. The only undefeated team with a minus in turnovers. What has happened in the last few games to shut off those turnovers on offense?
It goes back. The guys, we preach it all the time, ball security, and then just the decision making that Brett's made back there. Not putting the ball, I guess, in harm's way. We just got to continue to emphasize it, and you typically win the turnover margin. You got a really high percentage chance of winning the game.